Today I have something special. This is my first pattern release video. I am releasing the Lydia Bennet Shawl, which I am wearing. My dog is trying to snuggle. It's his birthday today, his 1-year birthday. Say happy birthday, Moose. So I wanted to make a little video specifically for this pattern. I have lots of pictures and I'll show them up here. This is actually the second version that I've made. My first one was bright red and a gift, actually. So I guess first I'll start with kind of the background. If you haven't heard of the book Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, it's a wonderful book. It's been around a long time and it's very popular. And it's a wonderful book. But Lydia Bennet is one of the sisters in that book, and I am kind of making a Bennet Sisters collection. I have an Elizabeth Bennet linen tee, and now this is the Lydia Bennet, and then there's a few other sisters, and I have lots of ideas. So my plan is to make a pattern for every sister. Lydia makes me laugh. She is her mother's favorite child, and Mrs. Bennet adores and spoils her. She was allowed into society far earlier than what would be deemed appropriate. Maybe her immaturity leads to her poor and humorous romantic choices. They are somewhat relatable, though. I mean, I think everybody can relate to Lydia Bennet at least at some point in their life. So this is, like I said, the first accessory in my Bennet Sisters collection. And I have lots of pattern ideas for other ones. And okay, about this construction of the shawl, it's knit from the smaller point, and you increase on one side. It makes a right triangle, so it's kind of an asymmetric triangle. And then it has an edging on one side that you do throughout the pattern. The main portion of it is garter, and then you add a really pretty decorative ribbing section at the end. I have made the pattern in 2 different yarns. This one that I'm wearing, it's knit at a looser gauge than the first one, and you can probably see that it's a little airy, and this is 100% linen yarn. It's a linen chain yarn. My ball of yarn says it's Barocco Indio. However, I believe that's been replaced on Barocco's site with what they're calling stonewash. But stonewash is 100% linen chain yarn, and it looks, I think it's just the same thing as this, just a different name. Let's see. The other one I knit was a tighter gauge, and I'll put all of the gauge information and stuff below, as well as, of course, it's up on Ravelry now, and it should be up on Love Knitting now, if not very soon, loveKnitting.com. So my red one, which I'll put lots of pictures up here. The red one, stop licking, Moose. Thank you. The red one is knit out of, let me see. Oh, the red one is knit out of Concept Cotton Yak yarn. So it's 60% cotton, 30% wool, and 10% yak. And that one is knit at a slightly tighter gauge, which results in a slightly smaller shawl. Now the shawl size is dependent upon your yarn weight and your gauge, of course, but it's also dependent upon how much you want to do in the pattern. So you can always increase your shawl size if you want to. You're knitting from the smaller point to the larger end, and so you can always do more repeats to make it bigger. And so it would get longer and wider at the same time. One of the interesting techniques in this shawl is a 3-stitch bobble from 3 rows below. And I have that in written instructions as well as a YouTube video here that shows you step by step how to do that bobble. And I'll have pictures up, but also, if you want to see here, I have little bobbles here, and I'll link to the instructions below. Might be easier to see actually on my black shirt here. So they're kind of, I call them low profile bobbles because they're not super They don't stick out a whole lot. And I also think that they don't poke through to the bottom. So they're kind of low profile and almost oval shaped. And there's bobbles and a little bit of work here on this decorative ribbing section. Eyelets and bobbles. So, I don't know what else to say about it. Oh, I originally knit this in the red because I was designing and knitting something for a family member, and she loves red. And so I found this wonderful yarn at my local yarn store, that cotton yak, super soft, but I figure with the 60% cotton, it's maybe not as hot, so she can wear it longer, not just like the dead of winter. And so I designed the pattern and I knit it up for her, and I loved the final results, and I loved the process of knitting it because it has lots of garter, which is lovely because it's just, mindless and soothing and all of that, but it didn't make me fall asleep. It didn't make me totally bored of it because it has only garter, because it has the little decorative edging as you go. So you knit all the way across till your little stitch marker, and then you do a little something, special on the edge. So that adds, it adds a beautiful design feature when you finish the shawl, but at the same time, it also adds to the knitting experience. It kept my interest. So after I finished it, I was like, well, I better take some pictures of it and write down all my information so that if I want to write it up and put it out to you guys, I can. So I did that, and I put it out for some test knitters, which I'll show some of their stuff too. And then I decided I wanted to knit one for myself, and I've wanted a linen shawl for the summer. I wear shawls to church in the summer because it's always cold inside. And I have just been wearing like my fingering weight wool shawl, and it's kind of big, it's a little too much, and I really wanted a linen one. So I knit this pattern up in a looser gauge than the red one, and I knit it in linen, and I love the results. So anyways, I will put lots of pictures up here if I haven't done so already. I will also put my test knitters, some of their pictures up here as well. They were wonderful, and yeah, I appreciate you guys supporting me and buying my patterns. It funds my knitting addiction. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I highly recommend the book Pride and Prejudice, and let me know what you think of my shawl. Bye. One other thing. If you guys have been around my channel for a while, you'll notice that my hair is drastically different. Yesterday, I got it all cut off. So, yeah, I got 6 inches maybe or so cut off. And yeah, so I'm rocking a new do. It's gonna take a little while for me to get used to it. I wanted a change and something exciting. So, I would say let me know what you think of it, but I'm not sure I want any negative opinions.